everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be continuing this double page spread today that I started. The background I did on camera and it is up on the channel. I'll link it in the description of this video in case you want to check out how I did that. That was done with distress inks, some water and a little bit of Winsor & Newton gold ink. So the book is Cute and Creepy by Camilla Devacor, and I'm going to be starting on this side today. So what I'm going to do first, I had a little thought in my head to white out the whole of the eye and then draw in a little UFO with a micron pen. Now originally I was going to black out the eye and draw on a UFO with a white gel pen, but testing it out on some piece of paper at the side of me, the gel pen wasn't going over the top of the acrylic very good and it was making my drawing really shabby. So the easiest way that I tried it was to white out the eye with a white acrylic and then use the micron pen. So I'm going to do that today. The white acrylic I'm using is the Deckweiss Americana. This is a really good one. This is a snow titanium white. So I'm going to give it a little shake. I am just going to squeeze a little blob directly on the eye and then I'm going to work it around with a paintbrush. So I'm just using a cheapy brush that I got in a set of 12 off Amazon. I'll link them down below as well in case you're interested. Really good cheap brushes for when you're using acrylics, because you don't want to use your good water colour brushes with acrylic because they will just ruin them. Now it's probably going to take a few coats of this to get it really white and cover all that line art. I'm just going to try and get an even base to start with, or as even as I can and as round as I can. Make the eye round. So I'm doing this first so it's got time to dry in between the layers, and then I'm going to do the body of the little alien with some distress ink. I think today we'll go for distress ink. So I'll allow that first layer to dry. I'm going to put a bit of it on the other eye. There we go. And we'll white out this one as well. Oh, that was a thicker layer on this side. I do still need to get it so it's not lumpy. I'll put a bit more on this side because I've put a little bit too much there. Let's round this eye off a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do a UFO shape in the smaller eye. I might just do some stars or something like that on that eye. We'll give it a little minute, or I might get my heat gun actually. I'll get the heat gun on it and then we're not messing around waiting. So this is the Ranger heat gun. You can get this one on Amazon. It's served me well so far. If you can hear me over the noise. It's not too noisy actually. It's not as noisy as my hairdryer. But yeah, it's quite a good one. Dry them off a bit and then we can go in with another layer. I thought it'd be nice to get the distress inks out. I have just got some new colours. I've added about 10 pencils to my collection. So I've got a lovely, I think it's called Cherry, a lovely cherry colour that I'm going to use on the little alien. It is like a reddish pink tone. Right, that should be okay. Yeah, just going to let it cool a little bit and then we'll put another layer on. If you can hear children, they are playing, they're being wild, but they're back at school very soon. All on different days though. It's so annoying because I've got 3 different schools and then a nursery, so I'm like navigating 4 different places because I've 5 children Two are at mainstream primary school, one is at a special needs school, one is at nursery, and one is at high school. So I've got 4 different schools. So one school's starting back on the 2nd of September, one school's starting back on the 6th of September with nursery, and then the other school is starting back on the 7th of September. So my brain is just like, oof, who do I need to get ready on what day? It's a nightmare. If you hear emergency vehicles, they are just going past the house. I'll just let the noisy thing go past. So I have just popped a bit more on, and we're going to go in with another layer of this. I'm making his eyes slightly bigger, only slightly, just so I've got more room to draw the little UFO inside. I'm just going to wipe off my brush to the side of me and wipe the excess off. Again, I'm going to wipe that excess off a little bit. I don't want the lumps and bumps, I want a nice flat surface, as flat as I can get it. So I'm just going to try and scrape that off from the outside like that. And wipe it off on a piece of paper at the side of me. So that's a bit better. There we go, that's looking good. A bit more on this side as well. I'm only going to put a tiny blob on. I don't want there to be too much on this side either. Maybe a tiny bit more. I'm going to actually put it directly onto my brush. There. And I'm going to make this eye slightly bigger on this side, just to reflect how much I've made the other side bigger. Pull it round. There we go. I think that might be okay. Might need one more layer, but I'm going to let that dry naturally while I just do the distress ink on the body. So I have picked out the cherry. If you're interested in where I got these from, it was from Gemma at the Colour Cave. She does have a stash shop where she sells, I think some things are new, but it's used supplies, so you can get them cheaper. And she did send me a little sticker out, so that's her channel, the Colour Cave, and all the details on the back there. And then that's a little thank you note. So I did get 10 Inktense from it. I'm using the cherry today, so I'm going to, should I zoom you in a bit? Is that enough? So I'm just going to start on the body, and we're just going to put quite a nice, I'm using sort of a medium pressure, and I'm just going to put this all over their little alien body. It's a gorgeous colour when it's activated. This, I have just tested it out to check it was the colour that I wanted. They work beautifully at Inktense in this colouring book as well. Now I have just got, when I did the background, I have just splashed on a bit of the Winsor & Newton Gold ink onto some of the illustration. You can just scratch it off. So if it's bothering you and you want to get rid of it, if you've done what I've done, you can scratch it off. There's a lot of traffic going past today. Must be because the sun's out. Got the window open as well, so that's the body done. Let's move on to the face. See if I can scratch this bit of gold ink off the top of the head. Waft it away a bit there. There's a bit there as well. It'll probably be okay. So I'm gonna go over the head. Yeah, but I thought his little shocked face, because it looks like he's got a little shocked face. I thought if I put a little draw a little UFO in his eye, it'd look really cute. That's the house's alarm going off, not my house, the one across the road. It literally goes off all the time, all the time. It's so annoying. If that was my house and my alarm going off like that, it'd drive me absolutely potty. So it is just catching on some of that white acrylic as I'm going round. You know me, I'm not fussed, but if you was worried about that, you could do the Inktense first and then go in with the eyes. But for the purpose of the video, I did the eyes first to allow drying time. But it probably would be easier to do that last. Right, so I'm going to just change direction where we get up here. If there's any little lumps or bumps, that is the Winsor & Newton gold ink that I put down. Again, it's not going to bother me on an image like this. Anything that isn't a realistic image doesn't really bother me about small imperfections, because you're not going for realism. You're not looking for realism. So it doesn't really bother me too much. Again, don't worry about the Inktense going down neatly, because when you activate them with water, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see any of these lines. So don't worry. It does have an ugly stage. So I'm just putting a bit more pressure on the areas where I possibly want them a bit darker. I will probably go in with some shading over the top as well. Let's just get a bit more pigment down. Right, so it looks very messy and very ugly at the minute, so let's get some water. Let's get him activated. So I'm going to get my old cloth that I always have at the side of me, just so I can dab my brush off. This is my little tea towel that I used for the Distress Ink background as well. I'm using my water tank brush by Arteza today. I will link them in the description as well if you're interested in those. So I'm just cleaning the brush off. So I'm going to start on the body where it's a smaller area, and I'm just going to add my water. And you do have to work quite quickly with the Inktense. They're not workable like watercolours are. So I am just going to stop at the neck. You can see how lovely that colour is. It's like a pinky red tone, isn't it? So now I'm going to move on to the head. So getting some water out again. I'm going to try and be a bit careful around the eyes. There we go, we've got round one eye safely. I am going to put some shading in when this is dry, so I don't need to worry about that. I am going to put another little thin layer of acrylic over the eyes as well. Just one last layer. So that is where the Winsor & Newton gold ink was down that little patch on his head. There we go. It is pilling in this book actually, that. It's pilling a little bit. But we'll put some shading over it, and we might even put some glitter over. So I'm just going to put one last layer because I can just see some of the pigment coming through still. I'm going to put one last layer of this. And a bit up there where we can see that black coming through. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'll put that brush down there to the side of me. I think I've got some nice pink stickles actually as well that I could use to make him glittery. If I wanted to add some sparkle. Let me just have a look. Is that red or... oh, that's magenta. That might not go very well. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a really, really bright one. Really bright one. Oh, I don't know about that yet. We'll see. But I am going to put some shading in shortly with this middle purple pink. But I'm going to allow it to dry first. Might give it a little blast with the heat gun. Looks really messy at the minute, but don't worry about it. We'll get some glitter on it. We'll get some shading in on it. But it's definitely pilled at the paper, that has. Definitely. I'm brilliant at doing that. All the time. You can avoid that if you gesso the page first. The page I did in Fragile World, where I gessoed the page first, it was brilliant. Took loads of water. Didn't pill or anything. So if you want to avoid that, all you need to do, put a bit of gesso on, prep your page first. But you know me, not too fussed. Not too fussed. Let's have a little feel. Feels okay. So I'm going to get my pencil sharpened. And I'm going to give him a bit of blush on his cheeks with this. I'm going to start over here. Give him a bit of pink blush. Pencils go down perfectly when you've got a base as well, whether it's a base of, you know, pastel, watercolour, Inktense. All goes down really, really nice. Really nice. So I'm just going to fade out the ends. Fade out the ends now. So he's got a lovely, lovely, bright, bright, bright pink cheek. Because he's an alien and he can get away with it. And I'm going to do the same around here. That is complementing that Inktense colour beautifully. So again, I'm going to start fading the line out. I don't like this bit in the middle here where it's gone a bit patchy on the Inktense. I don't know whether to go in and do another layer of the Inktense, but then it is going to pill the paper again. What to do. So I think I'm going to leave it just because I know it will pill at the paper even more. So I've just got a Rose Carmine 124 in the Polychromos, and it's a very, very similar colour. I have just tested it out here. It's a very similar colour, so I'm going to do some shading with this. I don't know if I'm going to do some shading in the middle of the face, but I think if I sort of buff over it a little bit, it might be okay. But I'm going to start down here and just give him some shading under here. You can see it's a really close match for that colour, and it is just smoothing everything out. Whether I can do that all over, so to speak. So I'll give him a bit of a dark shoulder and then fade out down here. So there's always a way of fixing something you don't like. I always find a way. Once upon a time I used to scrap the page, but I've really learnt how to rescue things. There's no way I'd throw away this page. The background's just too pretty. And we can make the little alien pretty as well. Just wait till we put his UFO eyes in. Do a bit of shading under his foot there, and then a bit under his neck. And we'll leave this bit lighter. So just blend that in now. Blend his arm in a little bit. There we go, so that's his body shaded. Now we just need to sort out this mess up here. So I'm going to start off at the bottom. And we'll see what we can do, guys. We'll see what we can do. I think I'll definitely gesso the page next time. I think any colouring book that I know doesn't react as well with water, I will just gesso it in future because it works so well. And it's the white gesso that I use. Now it does dull down your line art, but that didn't bother me on the page that I did in Fragile Worlds. And then you can always, if you're really bothered about dulling down the line art, you can always draw it back in with a micron pen. So these are the pens that I use, the smudge proof, archival quality, archival ink, and they're just brilliant for anything like that. Sometimes I use them for eyelashes or the, you know, the iris, the blacks of the eyes. I use them for that sometimes. So I'm just gonna go over that with a pencil just to try and smooth it out a bit. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's better than it was. I think we'll just ignore the Inktense was over there. It's just acted as a nice base for us because the pencils go over nice and smoothly. And this pencil was the perfect match for going over it. So if you've bared with me and you've got this far, thank you so much for sticking with me. Please, please do hit the thumbs up. It really, really does help the channel out. Drop me a comment down below. If you're not confident in talking or questions, just hit me with a nice emoji face, nice smiley face emoji. And please, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So I think I'm going to leave it at that now. Just get rid of all that pilling. I'll try and cover it up. You can't get rid of it, but we can cover it up. We'll cover it up and forget it never happened. Pretend it never happened. Right, I am going to get my micron pen now and I am going to draw the UFO in the eyes. So I'm going to bring you in. Let's see how far in we are. We're in far enough here now, aren't we? So let's have a bash. I did have a practice of this. I'm wondering where I can turn you around so that I'm not blocking your view. This is completely dry now, so that's okay. Right, so I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to start quite high up. I'm going to start with that sort of shape. Then we're going to sort of put a lip around. My hand's shaking. Like, what in the world? And then we're going to have the bottom of the UFO. So that's going to be sort of that shape. Then we're going to do the sort of little lid. Just going to have it coming down about there, and I'm going to just sort of round it off a little bit, and then I'm going to put another lid on it, another lip around the bottom, like that, and then we're going to add some little circles like that, and then I'm going to do some light strobes like that. So that's one of his eyes, but I think I'm going to colour some of it in. I'm trying to work out which bits I want to colour completely black. So it is going to be, I think I'm just going to colour all this black actually and have it as one ring rather than lines. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll scrap the lines and just have it as one ring. So again, these pens are smudge proof, so hopefully I will not catch this before it dries. So I am going to colour this bit here. And the bit underneath. I don't know whether to colour that bit as well. Should I colour that bit or leave it? I think I'm going to colour it, because then it looks as though it's like a shadow in his eye, doesn't it, almost? Almost like a black shadow. There we go, we'll do that. And then we'll put some, I think we'll put some little stars in this eye. Just for fun. And that's that. I don't know if to do something else in that eye. What else could we do? We do like a sun, but then it wouldn't really look like a sun, would it? A moon? Might come back to it. Let's do some leafage. We'll do some leaves over here. I don't know whether as well to put a black liner in the eyes to sort of line the eyes. I think I might do that. I'm going to try and get around this as neat as I can. You have to have a steady hand. I'm going to have wobbly hands. That's better. And then we'll line this one. I'm just going to turn the beat round so I'm not leaning on the eye that I've just done. There we go. That's crazy. It looks magical now, doesn't it? There we go. Now I'm going to get some leaves done now. So I'm going to pick out some Inktense again, I think, wherever I've left my Inktense. Come on, Kirsty, where have you put everything? My desk is a mess at the minute. It really needs reorganising and tidying. So I'm just going to go off and find them and I'll pop straight back. I'm back. I found the Inktense. I found the coloured greens that I want. And I may even stick a little bit of the amber in to the mix actually. Nope, wrong pencil case. I've found them and then gone in the wrong pencil case. I think I'm cracking up today. Cracking up. Right, where's the amber? There we go, we'll have a bit of that as well. So I will just go over all the leaves with the amber to start off with. So again, we're not fussed about it being neat. As you can probably tell, I'm not going to do any of those little bits. So all these bits we went over with the distress ink, I'm not picking any of them out or doing any sort of details with them. I'm going to leave them as they are. There's no way I'm doing all those. No way. So this colour will really complement the background, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a sort of light green into them as well. Hopefully with being a smaller area, these won't pill as much or at all as the larger illustration did. Fingers crossed for me, guys. I think he's turned out cute anyway. He's rather cute with his little UFO eye, isn't he? So the green I'm going to put into it is the apple green. So this is a lovely bright green in the Inktense. And I'm just going to pop this colour around the edges of the leaf. Whether it'll activate in the way that I've put them down is another story. But again, if you don't have a go, you don't know, do you? You don't find out. My girls are winding each other up something rotten today. You know when it comes to the end of the holidays and you know they're ready for going back to school? You know they're ready. They're definitely ready to be going back. Definitely. So I really do appreciate it if you've stuck with me so far. I really do. It's turning into a bit of a process, this page. So I'm going to get my cloth now to the side of me, and I've got my water tank brush again. I'm just going to make sure it's cleaned off because we don't want any of that pink pigment coming out on our leaves. So I'm going to start off in the centre of the leaf. Wipe my brush off and then sort of merge a bit of that green in. Like that. And maybe could have got away with doing a darker green on the edges. Oh, it's rather warm. I've got the window open, it's still hot. I've not checked what degrees it is today, actually. going to do the other side, and then I'm going to add some more Derwent Inktense here, some more pencil here when it's dry, and then rework it because it's a bit lighter on these ones up here than these. We'll move over to this side. Gone very quiet because this is my concentrating face. That was a noisy motorbike. This apple green that I've put down though, it's one of the brighter shades in the Derwent Inktense. It's a really lovely bright green. Oh, my little boy shouting me earlier as well. Mummy, there's a spider, there's a spider. And I went and looked and I said, yeah, Mummy's not getting that one, mate. Go and shout your dad. It was huge. It's absolutely huge. I hate them. I hate them. Right, I'm going to get the heat gun on this bit just so I can go over some of that leaf. You know you don't have to go like this, but I always find the need to do this, even though you just need to hold it still. But anybody else do this. It's like you have to keep your hand moving at all times. It only needs to be over this section. This is one of them fun pages. One of the ones you can have fun with. So I'm going to put a tiny bit more of the apple green around here and then reactivate it. Just a little bit. So going back in with the water, and that's a bit better. Let's put a bit more green into the mix. And I'll do the same up here just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to find some lovely brown tones for the little bottom bit. The new ones that I've just got, I haven't swatched out yet, and I don't know if I've got any browns. I don't know if I bought any more browns or if they're just greys and blacks in here. I think they are greys and blacks. Yeah. So I'll find some browns that I've already got in my little set. You will hear children in the background. They're being right noisy outside my door now. So I think I'm going to use the back. Let me check my swatch book for you. I know I swatched these out in the back somewhere here, so back might be a little bit too dark actually. Might go for the oak. Yeah, I think we'll go for the oak. It's not as dark. So let's find the oak. Hopefully it's in here somewhere. I need to rearrange them and put them in some sort of order so I can find them. It's here on the end, see. I'm going to give it a little bit of a sharpen, and then just going to go over all of it. I'm going to go on with a harder pressure under where it's sat because that's where there will be a natural shadow. So under there I'm going to press on really hard with a pencil. So that's shadowed, and then where there's the darkest grayscale, Here I'm going to go in with a hard pressure as well. Hard pressure here. Sometimes if you're putting a hard pressure in some places and you want it lighter in others, you don't even need to put any pigment here with your pencil, because you can activate the darkest point and then drag the colour down into here, so this then will naturally go lighter, which is what I might do. I'll just pop a bit down here because that's sort of already got some distress ink over at the bottom, so that's going to be darker anyway. But yeah, I'll put a little tiny bit there, but I'm not really going to put much more down, and I'm just going to activate it and see what happens. If I have to add more, I'll add more, but let's just see what we're working with so far. So activating this deepest bit all under there, and then pulling it down. So you can see you've now got that lighter bit here. I'm wiping off my brush. And then we're going to the darker bit again, down the bottom. And that's it. I'm going to leave that like that because I think that's quite nice. So I think I'm going to add, should I add a bit of glitter to him or should I leave him? What's he look like on camera? Does it look okay, or do we need to add some glitter? I don't know, I don't want to spoil him, but at the same time I do want to kind of hide a bit of this pilling, what we can still see slightly. Oh, what to do, what to do. Is this dried? Let me dry a bit of the leaves off because I'm going to put some gel pen detailing on there. This is my problem, I'm indecisive because I'm like, I want to put some glitter on him, but then I'm thinking, will it be too much and detract from the background? Because if you put glitter on, sort of on top of glitz, it's going to be overkill. But then I'm thinking, if I put glitter on him, it might be really nice, covering up that bit of patchiness. Right, now I can get my white gel pen, put a bit of detailing on my leaves. Let me rub this off on the side. I love a bit of gel pen on leaves, I really do. And this sort of trying to make a flower, I don't know if you can see, I think we're not really zoomed in much, but this sort of trying to make a flower effect, I got that from the Korean colouring book. I will just show you. So this colouring, let me zoom out. This colouring book that already has the references on the left hand side, the illustrator does use them quite a lot. You can see on that one she's done the white gel pen detailing round, and then on the page that I actually completed in here she did it on as well. Where is it? That one there. So you can see she'd done a bit around here, and so I copied it on this side, and I really do love it. I think it makes the leaves, you know, it makes, so let's zoom you in again and we'll do this side and put some on here. You can do some bigger than others, you can even do two on the same leaf. And I'll leave it at that, I think. I really don't know if I want to do him some glitter. Oh, it's taunting me. I've got the glitter here, you see. This is the stickles that I don't know whether to put on. Let me see how bright this is. I want to check because I've not used it in a long time. Let me get some scrap paper. This is what I've been practicing my UFOs on, see. So, oh gosh, well that's made my decision for me because it won't even come out, it's jammed. Well, that's made that decision easy. I did have this one as well, which is a magenta. Let's see if that one comes out. Oh, that one comes out. That's quite dark though. But I would dab it on with my finger like that. So let's see how that's shining in the light. I might put a bit of that on, you know. I think that'll look quite nice. Let's just go for it. Let's put a bit on. So we're going to go straight for that bit on his head that I don't like. Can hear children going past the house. Oh, I like that. I'm liking that. Let's just stay away from the eyes. We don't want to end up putting it on the eyes, do we? Let's just put it all over. I do like to use my finger to dab the stickles on with. Let's put some on his body. So I think it was Debbie what was joking last time. Last time I did a background and I really didn't like it and it started pilling. I put stickles all over it and I said something in the video and she said, if in doubt, stickle it out. She cracked herself up with that joke. Didn't you, Debbie? Well, that's what I'm doing again. I'm going to drag some of that over here onto his legs. If in doubt, stickle it out. Yeah, that's what she's doing. That's what she's trying to do. Oh, he's a proper bling little alien now. He's bling blinged. It's bling blinged up and I'm covered in it. Let me get a baby wipe or a towel to wipe this off. I'm going to bring my lamp in so we can just see the sparkle. So let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at him. Oh, he's a very glamorous little alien, isn't he? Look at that. So I'm going to leave it there for today because I think it's going to take quite a while to do this fairy. This fairy is a lot more detailed than the little alien. But I am going to bring these colours over onto this side. So I will probably be doing a dress in the same colours I've used here and adding some sparkle as well, because of course what fairy doesn't have sparkle. So it's probably quite nice that I've used glitter there because I can then make a really glittery dress slash skirt. So please do hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching everyone. See you again soon. Bye bye.